My name's Brendon Greney. I'm the Director of Operations at Organic Alternatives. Started at Organic Alternatives back in 2014 as a bud tender while I was enrolled full-time here at CSU. These days, I'm our Director of Operations and our Director of Human Resources. I'm responsible for company-wide operations, IT, business analytics, but primarily I oversee all facets of our retail store on Mountain Avenue, including onboarding, training, compliance, business analytics, and all aspects of human resources. At Organic Alternatives, the importance of ID compliance is instilled in our staff right from their first day of employment. We have very strict policies and procedures surrounding IDs that all of our staff must possess a mastery of. We ensure that all of our new staff members complete our rigorous internal training process before they're approved to work without management supervision. Part of our training includes our ID checking software. It's called IntelliCheck. This software scans the barcode on the ID and references that information against the DMV database. The quality of fake IDs is ever improving, so IntelliCheck acts as a useful tool for us to stay ahead of the curve. Our staff is instructed to greet the customer by making eye contact. They then have to ask the customer to physically remove the ID from their wallet or purse. Our staff then takes possession of that ID and takes all the time they need to verify the information on that ID. They must be over 21. They must possess a valid form of identification. Everything must be legible for us to read, and we do need to ensure that the person represented in that ID is the person that's standing in front of us. After all of those checks have been made, we only then scan the ID through the software to ensure its validity, creating a double check for us. If we suspect that the ID is fake or misused, the ID is confiscated immediately and turned over to our supervisor team. We then give the individual the choice. They can wait for the police to come and verify the validity of that ID, or we can keep the ID and they can leave. Most people take the opportunity to leave. This process also happens a second time before that customer is allowed to go back into the bud room to shop for cannabis. So in conjunction with our internal training procedures, all of our new staff must participate in the Fort Collins Police Department ID training before they are allowed to bud tend. This class is led by the Fort Collins Police Department, and it's incredibly impactful because they provide fake IDs for our staff to look at, to touch, and analyze. This class also provides both our staff and the Fort Collins Police Department the opportunity to discuss new issues or questions surrounding IDs. We've found this class to be so instrumental that even our tenured employees are required to go to the class every 2 years to be recertified. So accepting fake or improper identification is extremely serious and has many different potential consequences. For the staff member that has accepted that ID, they could personally be charged with misdemeanor distribution. This carries up to a $5,000 fine and up to 180 days in jail. For the business, there are also very serious consequences, as this would be classified as a violation of public safety. That is the most egregious classification of offense in the eyes of the Marijuana Enforcement Division. This classification of offense carries with it suspension or even revocation of our business license, up to a $100,000 fine as well. It's critical for the Colorado cannabis industry to stay vigilant with regard to enforcement of IDs for multiple reasons. First and foremost, Our products are intended for adult use only. It's imperative to community safety that we keep these products out of the hands of minors. And because legal cannabis is relatively new, we're finding that teachers, parents, and school resource officers are having a difficult time distinguishing cannabis products from other products like nicotine products. That in turn puts the burden of community safety squarely on our shoulders. In addition, because Colorado was the first state to legalize cannabis, we act as the test subject and the tone setter for the rest of the cannabis industry. Failure to adhere to fake ID enforcement or ID compliance could have ramifications for other states and other markets that are considering legalization. Again, because Colorado was the first state to legalize cannabis back in 2014, we, as a state, have played a large role in shaping the infrastructure and standards surrounding our entire industry. Many emerging states and markets will look to Colorado as an indicator for how safe or not legal cannabis would be for them as well. By ensuring strict compliance and adherence to identification laws and procedures here in Colorado, we have an opportunity to not only keep cannabis out of the hands of Colorado minors, but potentially minors in other states as well.